Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this channel we make sewing tutorials and pattern drafting, and today we'll be making a pinafore gown, a long pinafore gown with the opening at the front and an elastic around the waist. So if you find this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. What we need is an elastic, basic bodice, your normal basic bodice without a sewing allowance. So it will be having an opening at the front, so we need our basic bodies. That's what we draft our pinafore on. Then we need our scissors, our tape rule and ruler. So please, if you find this video helpful, give me a thumbs up, subscribe and put on your notification bell so that when I upload any new video you get notified. So let's get into the video. I have here with me my Akara fabric. This is actually 6 yards, but I will be using the whole of the 6 yards. The maximum yards I used on this at the end of the video was 3.5 yards. So the first part of this video will be cutting the lower parts, and the lower parts of this pinafore I'll be using 3 yards only for the lower part, which is the gathered part is 3 yards. What are the 3 yards? And right now I actually put my fabric on fold 3 yards. I've cut out 3 yards from the actual fabric, so I put it on fold. So I will take the measurement. The length I'm taking on this gown is actually 57 inches. So if I to deduct the upper part, which is the pinafore part, the upper part from the gathers, what will remain will be 41 inches. So I will take the 41 inches, then I'll be using the selvage area as my down part. So this side will be the upper part. So I actually took 41 inches. So I will cut out the 41 inches. I trim this off. So I will cut this part off. So this is what we are working with, and this is actually the lower part of the pinafore gown, so keep it aside. I'll work on the upper part. So this will bring our basic bodies now. So this is the front pattern. We're actually doing this one for the front. So there's actually an opening at the front. So this is the middle part of the pattern that we are using. So since there will be an opening at the front, so from one end to another, whichever opening, how wide the opening you want it, that is what you do. So this one I'll be using 1.5. So since the fabric is on fold, because I'm assuming this pattern paper is on fold, so if you mark 1.5, it will be 3 inches when opened. So I'll mark 1.5 at the middle of the pattern. So that is my 1.5. So from that 1.5, I will take 4 inches for the wideness of the pinafore. So I'll be adding 1/2 inch to it for sewing allowance. So it will be 4.5 in total. So this is 4.5. So I will take from this shoulder, this part which I did my shoulder curve, to where I mark 4.5. But I actually want the pinafore to go inside a little, so I will take it 1/2 inch into the shoulder. So I will take it 1/2 inch like so, then take it to the 4.5 where I mark 4.5. I just take it straight to the 4.5. So just take that line straight with your ruler to the 4.5. So at this point, which I took my 4.5, sorry, my 1.5 inches, I'll be connecting it to the neck opening here, which is this part. So I'll take it straight to that part at which I mark 1.5 inches. So I'll take it straight to that 1.5 inches. So I'll cut this at this basic bodice pattern is actually to like my half length, which is my half cut of my normal blouse. So I will just this part we don't need that, but the side I'm just striking off is the side we don't need. So we'll cut this part off. For I'm just trying to like go back to it. From the middle you take 1.5, then from that part you take your 4.5 inches, which is your dart point. So you just add half inches, whatever that is your dart you take to be your pinafore width. So I'll cut this off. So this is what we are working on. This is the actual piece we are working on. So I'll just label this part the up so that I don't mess it up. This is the up, then this is the down part. But this pattern is actually the full length of my half cut, just as I said earlier. So I'll be removing 2 inches for the band. So 2 inches for the band, and so if I minus that 2 inches, I'll be using that 2 inches as a elastic band on the pinafore. I'm just checking if the 2 inches is correct, so I will trim that off. So this is the exact one we are working on. I've actually minus the 2 inches for my band measurement. So I will deduct, I will just mark it again as my down part. So I'll bring the back part. So this is the back part of my normal basic pattern, the back, but it's without the zipper. I didn't put the zipper allowance, so it's just like the front actually. So I will also take my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 inches. Then I'll add 1.5 to it. So the front, the back will not be having an opening, so it's just like your normal back, but the only side that will be opening is at the side of your body. So what I took was 4.5, which is my nipple to nipple measurement. Then I added 1.5, so I will take it to the shoulder measurement. Mind you, while we're marking the front, I took half inch into the shoulder, so I'm doing the same here. So I will just connect it to the part which I mark extra 1.5 to my nipple measurement. So I will cut this part off. So this is all we need, and we'll cut this on fabric. So I actually, on this part, I've actually cut it on the fabric, and the only thing I did was to add allowance on the lower part. That was the only part I added allowance, or the lower part on the fabric. So what I did was to cut the fabric as a lining piece, so which is the fabric, I'm using it as a lining, which is as my lining. So I cut the back part. This particular one is the back part, so I cut two of it. So one will be the lining piece. So the only adjustment I did at the back was to bring the neck down a little by half of an inch. So the only part you add your allowance is the lower part. So at the front part, I have 4 pieces here, which is 1 piece for the lining piece, then the actual piece. So that is 4. So we go to our sewing machine and start sewing. So I'll just open the back up. So this is the back. So these are our back measurement. So I have 2 of it here. I'll keep it aside. Then you can use lining for yours, but I'm actually using the fabric. So that is for the back. Then this is for the front part, which is the 4. So that is it. Then I make a notch at the side that is going towards the middle, so that I will not turn it and put the side going towards the side of my body at the front in the process of sewing. So I put a notch there. So as I'm sewing, I will indicate it so that I won't mix up the piece. So if I said where we are cutting is we did an opening of 1.5 inches. So if now is open, it will be 3 inches. So this actually how it will look like at the front of the fabric. So this how it will be. So we'll start sewing. We'll put them together and start sewing. We will actually cut a band piece for this. The band is just we cut a normal straight fabric, because there's an elastic around this gown, so no need to work on your band to make it fitted around you. It's the elastic that will bring us all the work inside the band. So no need to work on your band, you just cut a straight band. So I will cut a straight band and show you how it looks like. So these are actually the basic bodice band, the normal band that we all know without you working on it. So I notch the middle of it. So this round my waist measurement, the length of my waist actually. So we'll start sewing. Let's go and start sewing. As we start sewing, you understand better. So the lower part actually, we will slit it open. Before we work on the lower part, I will just explain what I will be doing on my sewing machine. I will sew round the neck. This is the back. I will sew round the neck, round the side, then leave the lower part of the back. Then I will do the same to the front. I will sew both sides, leaving the shoulder and the lower parts. So the same I will do to the other piece too. So I will leave the upper parts and the lower part, just sew both sides. So then the lower part of the fabric, which is the 3 yards we cut earlier, I will open it up. I will slit it rather into 2, because it will be having a side pocket. So I will slit it into 2. So slit it into 2, which is back and front. Then I'll slit 1 into 2 again, so that it will give me 2 at the front. So you understand as we start sewing. So that is what I will do here. I'll just slit it open. So I've sewed the front. At this point, I've made sewings at the front. So this is my 2 pieces at the front. I sewed both sides of it. Then I put a pin at the part which I notched, which I said it will be going to the middle of our body. so that I won't mess it up. So since I notched it and I've sewed it, and I put pin there to for easily understanding. So instead of notching it again, since I've sewed it, so I put pin there. So this is my back piece. I sewed around the neck, then the side, leaving the lower part open. So this is it, and it's well ironed already. So this is the neck, and this is the side. So this is my front, and I've ironed all of them. So these just the pins at the middle. So this, it will look like this at the front of the cloth, like this. See how it is. Even without adding everything, the cloth is coming out very beautiful. So this is just how it is for now. So I will start working on the band. So what I did on the band was to slit the band into two, since it's back and front. So I slit the band into two, creating room for one at the front and one at the back. So the one at the front, I made a notch at the middle. So the notch I made at the middle will indicate the part at which I want to create the opening into. And remember, when we were cutting, I said 1.5 inches. So at that middle part, I will take my 1.5 inches to the left, 1.5 inches to the right. So that is where I'll be putting my pinafore. So if the total opening that it will be 3 inches, since 1.5 this way, 1.5 this way, it will be 3 inches. So that's 3 inches. I will sew that part. I'll be leaving this other part. I want to make the sewing as neat as possible. So this part, which is the middle part, the 3 inches that I won't be adding anything to, I will sew it off and leave the other side that I will put the pinafore into. So I will only just sew the middle part of it and leave this other side. At the point at which I mark 1.5, that is where I will put my pinafore into, after sewing that 3 inches close. So this will be on that part like that, and the other one will be this way. So this part at which I will be putting the pinafore, I will not sew it. I will only just sew the middle part, which is the 3 inches. That is the only place I will sew. Then I'm also marking where I will put the pinafore, because there will also be an allowance at the side. So I will also sew that side closely to create room for only the part at which the pinafore will be. So I'm just marking it here. I'll be sewing 1/2 inch at the middle, then 1/2 inch at the side. They have different ways of sewing this actually, but whichever way that is okay for you, that is what you do. This is what I feel like doing for now. So I will also do the same. What I did on the other side, I will do it at this part also, marking at the part at which the pinafore will enter. Then I will sew the side at it. Mind you, be mindful of the part at which you are putting at the middle. So that is why we put this pin, so for you to know that this is the part going towards the middle. So I will sew the side, which is the side of your body. I will sew that side. So I will sew that side, sew the middle, and leave only the part at which the pinafore will enter. I will only leave that part unsew. So at this point, I've sewed all the part I said we want to sew, and this part at which you see my hand coming out from is the part we'll be putting the pinafore. So if you can see the holes. So those two holes are the holes at which we'll put the pinafore. So what we'll do is just to iron it, fold it. You see what I'm doing here? Just trying to use my hand to iron my sewing allowance inside. So that at that point which I am actually folding now, that is where I will put the pinafore. So I'll do it neatly. So you can see what I'm doing here. So you just go and iron. Even without ironing, you just press it down. Since you've sewed other parts, it will actually direct you to easily lay down flat. So I will go and iron this and show you how it will be. So at this point I've ironed it, so I want to show you what next to do. So this is the pinafore. The opening part of it, I'll be inserting this pinafore into it. So I will insert it that way into it, then pin it down, making sure what you are putting inside is 1/2 inch. You can mark it out for you to be certain. So it starts 1/2 inch. Then you do the same. Whatever you do to that side, you do the same here. So I'll go and mash it down, top stitch it this way, then show you what to do at the lower part. So if you watch here, I've sewed it down, I've top stitched it down. So if you look both at and in of the fabric, you won't see any of our sewings. All our sewings, which is our sewing allowances, will be hidden under the band. So we'll work on the lower part, which is our gather piece. This opening at the upper part will also be at the lower part. So wherever the opening is at the up, you mark it at the lower part, which is 3 inches up, 3 inches down. So the same 1/2, 1/2. So that is our opening. So at that point, that is where we put our gathers. So this is the front piece. I said I want to divide into 2. So I divide into 2 and I make gather stitches into it. So now I have my front piece 2. So one will be this way. I'll put one this way, then I'll put the other one this way. This way, so creating the opening at the middle. So if you watch closely, you see it. So I'll be putting this. I've actually ironed the side I will be top stitching on it. So all I will do is to make sure the rough edges are not showing. Everything will be concealed inside the band. That is what I'm actually doing, is just like concealing all our sewing allowances inside the band. So what we did here now, I've actually attached it, yeah, and I'm just, if you turn in and out, which is like the front of the fabric and the back of the front of the dress and the back of the dress, you won't be seeing any of your joining allowances. So whichever way that you find convenient for you, you do it that way. So at this point I'm done with the front, so we'll go to the back part. So first thing first, before working on the lower parts of the back, we'll turn the back, which is the back piece, back into to the front. So we want to join the shoulder, and you put the front piece, which is the pinafore part, the front piece, those 2 pieces, be putting it into the back piece. The side at which you sew, you turn it out again, creating room. What I'm trying to explain is like what you sewed before that you've turned and iron, you turn it back. So what you'll be seeing will be the side at which you sew your neck and the side. You'll be seeing your sewings. That is how it will be. Then you put your front piece, which is the front of the front piece. You put it inside the shoulder of the back at both sides of it. Draw it as that way. You saw what I'm doing here. So what you do is to align both shoulders together, which is your sewing, and align them very well. then we join half of an inch, use half of an inch to join it. So I'm using pin at this point to hold it to make sure it stays equal before joining it with half of an inch. So whatever I do at this side, I will do to the other side. So I'll join both shoulder with half of an inch. Make sure you align it very well, shoulder to shoulder, which is your side joining to side joining of both necks together before sewing. So just taking my time to align it very well. See what I'm doing here. So I will sew half of an inch, half inch this way, half inch on the other side. So at this point I've sewed that half inch. So if you wash it now, it's joined. You have a back and a front joined together. If you turn it out, you won't be seeing any of the joining. So you can iron it at this point, or you wait after sewing, you do all the ironing. So we'll come to the lower part now, the gather piece. So this band, whatever we did at the front part, that is what we do to the lower part, the back part. What we did at the front part also, that is what we do to the back part. So you make sure all your sewing are concealed inside the band. Make sure it is neat as possible. So you do the same. So make sure everything is neat as possible. So I will do that and show you how it looks like. So I've joined the back, the upper part to the lower part, to the band and to the gather piece. So this is how it is. So if you turn the cloth in and out, since I use the fabric as the lining piece, you hardly differentiate which side is the front and which side is the back. So this how it will be. So I'm actually putting a pocket at the side of this gown. So what you do, for you to know the measurement to put your pocket is 2 inches from your band. Your band, wherever your band is, 2 inches from there. So you take that, mark that point, then you put your pocket, sew from that point down with your pocket. So I'm attaching the pocket to it now. So I've done attaching the pocket to it. So the only thing remaining is the elastic. So what I did was my waist measurement, the actual waist measurement minus 7 inches. That is what I did. So this is actually what is here. So I will divide it into two. One will be for the back and one will be for the front. So I'll use my safety pin to pass it into the band piece from one end to the other end. Secure it down with a pin. Make sure you secure the other end down. Make sure at this point to be careful so that you don't lose your elastic inside the band. So you secure the other end down with pin before you continue. Then you remove your safety pin and also put a pin there. So what the next thing is to, after putting your elastic into your band, you just close both the front and the back together. So you close it. So let's try the gown, the pinafore gown. I made this inner gown for the pinafore. So I took a little piece to design the side, and I put a zipper at the front because I'm a nursing mom. So you can actually use any gown for this pinafore, a gown like this with a long sleeve, or a turtleneck top and a trouser. So whichever one you find convenient for you. So I'll put on the gown, you see how it looks like. So this is it. It comes out very well, very beautiful. This is the front side, and this is the back. So this is the front, the opening, and these are the pockets. Comes out so beautiful. See how fitted it is around your waist. So this is where the elastic is, around the waist. So please, if you find this video helpful, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, put on your notification bell so that when I upload any new video you get notified. I actually made a detachable bow belt that I'll be putting at the front just to spice up the gown, and I'll use my safety pin to attach it. Please ignore the going up and coming down of my light. So I will attach it there to look as if it's belt, a normal belt, but it's detachable. So this is it. So beautiful. So if someone is watching you from far, to look as if you tied this gown at the front that is separated, is the belt that you used to tie it, but they won't know it is actually a detachable belt. So I'll pull this. You can actually wear this gown on its own without the pinafore gown. I made a handbag for this. So please, if you find this video helpful, give me a thumbs up. Thank you.